Hello YouTube. Today we're going to be flying a Cessna 172 and we're going to be flying from Meade Municipal over to Liberal Mid-America Regional Airport. It's a short flight, about 32 miles, and we're going to be flying IFR. We're going to be simulating filing a IFR flight plan and communicating with air traffic control. The primary purpose of today's flight is to demonstrate a partial panel flight with a vacuum failure. So we're going to be losing at a predetermined altitude both our heading indicator and attitude indicator. We're going to have to recognize when those have failed, and then we're going to have to rely then on other instruments, including our turn coordinator, airspeed indicator, altimeter, vertical speed indicator, and RPMs. And of course, we'll be following our navigation radios to continue our IFR flight and execute the ILS runway 35 approach into Liberal. So our flight today is going to be, again, 057 radial to Liberal, and then we're going to track to the Lima Oscar Mike NDB. And once we reach that NDB, we're going to make a left turn out to 174 degrees, execute a procedure turn, and come back inbound on 354 degrees on the localizer, intercept the glide slope, and make our way down to runway 35. Decision altitude on the straight-in ILS 35 is 3,075 feet. And we're going to have to do all of that with a failed heading indicator and attitude indicator. All right, so let's get back in the airplane. Right now, we are parked over here near runway 17. We're going to be taking off from runway 17. We're going to go ahead and intercept this preset course of 237. That's tuned into our NAV2 radio. The NAV1 radio has the localizer for the ILS runway 35 approach 1113 pre-programmed into it. Just to confirm, 111.3. I'm not going to be using any GPS navigation for today's flight. It's all going to be navigation radios. I do have the Liberal VOR tuned into my NAV2, and that's because I need my DME information. So my DME from the Liberal VOR right now is 32.7. There's two options to this approach. One would be to fly the DME arc, which is 13 nautical miles from the Liberal VOR, into the final approach course of 354, or again, to use the NDB as the initial approach fix, which that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so I have the NDB tuned in here, 383, and right now it's not receiving a signal. Hopefully it'll wake up not too long after our departure. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and taxi over to runway 17. All right, so once again, once those instruments fail, the challenge is going to be, number one, recognize when they fail, and then secondly, to divert attention away from the failed instruments. Ideally, you would want to cover them with a stick-it note or something that you have in the airplane so that they don't distract you from your other instruments. But for today's purposes, I'm just going to simulate that. So again, I'm then going to be relying on my turn coordinator, airspeed indicator, altimeter, vertical speed indicator, my engine RPMs, and also, of course, the magnetic compass. Mead municipal traffic. Mead municipal traffic, Sierra Papa 172, departing runway 17, straight out departure. Mead municipal. So I would have already filed my flight plan by telephone, and then I would make contact in the air. And again, we're not going to be doing that today. The primary purpose is to demonstrate the instrument failure. So we're going to intercept this radial and then turn to our inbound course of 237. Our radials. We'll start our turn at 240. Standard rate turn. Roll out 237. because they don't seem to be failing. So let's go over here to instruments, primary, and we're just going to fail it. So that's the first sign of trouble right there. Okay, I noticed that I tried to correct based on the attitude indicator and went into a slight left turn. No movement on the attitude indicator, but movement on the turn coordinator. So now I'm ignoring my attitude indicator. I haven't yet seen the symptom on the heading indicator. But looking at my compass showing a heading of 235. Make a slight correction to the right, monitoring my heading indicator. All right, we're showing a change on the magnetic compass, but no change on the heading indicator, so the heading indicators fail. So my primary for bank is now my turn coordinator, and my magnetic compass is secondary. Okay, NDB is alive. I'm going to begin navigating to the NDB. So making a left turn. Now that I'm flying partial panel, my inputs are going to be very gentle. Okay, there's NDB centered. No abrupt changes on my inputs. Slight right turn, and NDB back. So notice no deflection on the attitude indicator and no changes on the heading indicator. Okay, current heading is 230. So I'm going to set ADF to 230. Keeping wings level here. It's 235. Slight left turn here to get my bearing direct to the NDB. 21.9. The VOR shown here. Okay, the bearings direct to the NDB at heading of 230. All right, 6,000. Now we're going to look at our. I would have already communicated with ATC and let them know that we have vacuum failure. We're flying partial panel. And one of the things that inspired me to do this is I watched a video, and I'll go ahead and post a link to it. On a 4,000-hour ATP pilot in a private airplane who had a vacuum failure, and he was over New York talking with Tracon. He was above the clouds, and the only way he was going to be able to get into any airport would be to descend through the clouds, and he was hesitant to do so because he knew he was flying partial panel, and he knew he would lose his visual reference to the horizon. In the end, he ended up going into the clouds and went into a spiral. The airplane broke up, and he was deceased, and his passengers as well. So that inspired me to practice partial panel, which really I'm doing now, because I haven't really practiced it. I'm practicing it as we speak, and to do some more of it going forward. Okay, so we're tracking to the NDB, still showing a heading of 230, maintaining 6,000, slightly below 6,000. So from the NDB, we're going to descend to 4,600 and then 4,300 on the inbound. 17.9 from the VOR. So we're going to be slightly off of our radial because now we're tracking to the NDB. And once we reach the NDB, outbound 174, I'm going to time that for 2 minutes. And then procedure turn 129, then 309. That's going to be 1 minute timed. And then hopefully we can intercept the localizer. No guarantees that it's going to be a perfect execution by any stretch. Back up to 6,000. I corrected for the bearing to the NDB, slightly overcorrected. Back to the right. Climb back up to 6,000. Cruise level. So now my altimeter has become my primary pitch instrument with vertical speed indicator as secondary, as well as engine RPMs. Airspeed indicator. My primary bank instrument again is a turn coordinator, as well as a secondary of magnetic compass. Heading 235. Come left a little bit. Get back on that NDB bearing. Okay, 12.7 from the VOR. Our NDB will be close to that. Outbound is going to be 174, inbound 354. I'm going to go ahead and set my heading button to 354. Oh, that's not going to do me any good, is it? Not with a dead heading indicator. That's going to be my localizer there. Come left a little bit, get back on the bearing. Showing 225. 250. Getting more sensitive as we get closer. We're 9.2 from the VOR. Altitude down a little bit. VOR is about 255 radial. Actually be the reciprocal 075 radial. Back on that NDB. Caught myself looking at my attitude indicator there for the turn. Again, that's the benefit of being able to cover them, because you're trained so many hours looking at it. That's where your eyes go. I have to kind of mentally tell myself that it is, you know. We're back on the NDB showing 7.3 to the VOR, and I'm hitting 235. So once I pick up the localizer, I can use that instrument for my outbound course for the procedure turn. Getting close. 6.2. 090 radial. Wings level. So I just saw the localizer come in. They're real close. Okay, that's the localizer. And NDB's, it's too much of a turn. Again, I found myself looking at the attitude indicator. That's a mistake. An easy one to make. Back on that NDB. Level. So the bearing to the NDB is good. It should be making a reversal here pretty soon, I would think. That's the marker beacon. There's the reversal. Okay, so we're going to go into a left turn, 174, and I'm timing that right now. Starting our descent down to 4,600. So looking for 174. 160. 170, 174, leveling out. And I'm going to hold this for 2 minutes, and then my procedure turn, which is 129 outbound, and I'll time that for 1 minute. I'm going to increase my rate of descent a little bit. Oop, there, let's level that out. 180, let's bring that back. It's 175, level it off. Nice, easy, gentle descent. Nothing abrupt. 1 minute, 27 seconds. $129,309. One minute 40. 4,900. 175. And there's 2 minutes. I turn to 129 out for the outbound. Watch my altitude there. Looking for 129. Okay, timing my outbound. What do we have showing? 129. Let's bring that. Let's stop that descent. This is a high workload, I must say. Coming up on 25 seconds. Power just a little bit. That's 37 seconds. Showing 129. 50 seconds. Then we're going to make a right turn inbound 309 degrees. Okay, there's a minute. Standard rate turn to the right, 309. Going to descend to 4,300. Looking for 309. Final approach course is 3 270, 280, 290, 300, 309. I'm going to hold this, intercept the localizer. Okay, we turned a little too much there. Come back. It's 330. Okay, turning on course. There's the localizer. Looking for 354. 34. 35. Come left a little bit. Back on the localizer. Localizer's coming back in. Looks like I'm going to be chasing that localizer. Without a heading indicator, it's extremely difficult. Watching the altitude. Localizer's coming back in. Level there. Localizer. We're a little bit low, but a hold present altitude. And a little power. And hold 4,000 until we intercept that glide slope. Light on. Looking for glide slope. There it is. Alright, hold a descent rate of about 500 feet per minute. Try to stabilize the airplane. It's marker beacon, outer marker beacon. Coming left a little bit. Keep that localizer centered. 3260 is the decision height. There's the runway. And flaps now. Slow the airplane down. Just a little bit high. Getting power. Once we get taxied in and parked, we'll take a look at our ground track. I'm sure it isn't pretty, especially on that final. Okay, so again, let's take a look at our ground track and see how good or not so good we did here. All right. So there's our takeoff, intercept radial. Had the instrument failure somewhere in here, switched over to inbound on the NDB. So we were tracking via the NDB. NDB is here. We made our left turn out on heading 174, timed that for 2 minutes. Then left turn 129 for 1 minute. Then right turn 309 to intercept the localizer. Looks like probably picked up the localizer here. Shot through it, corrected, overcorrected. I can say that overcorrecting is quite easy to do when you're trying to do it using just a magnetic compass. But in any case, we did recapture the localizer, and all things considered, we're on the ground and safe. So hopefully you picked up something that might be of use to you. I certainly did. I'm going to do more of this and some other emergency procedures in some future flights. Thanks for joining me today. Looking forward to next time.